welcome back. I hope everyone's having an amazing Monday. I wanted to show you guys a video on how simple it actually is to get these everyday looks that I post on Instagram. I get DMs and comments all the time saying how I make the looks look so easy in the videos, when in reality, if you give yourself at least 30 minutes to an hour, you can achieve the same looks. So today I'm going to show you a few products, a few palettes that are really simple, easy to use, easy to blend, that will be able to help you achieve an everyday flawless look. So if you're interested in this type of video, go ahead and stay tuned. So the first thing that I want to start off by doing is adding a primer on my face. I like to use my MAC Prep and Prime Natural Radiant Base, and this one is the pink shade. And I really like this one because it is very moisturizing for my skin. So it acts as a moisturizer and a primer. So I'll go ahead and just apply this on over. This is a very important step for me because I feel like this helps me achieve my flawless base. Like, I can tell the difference in my makeup when I don't use a moisturizing primer because I feel like my foundation doesn't go on as smoothly. I don't have that really flawless, smooth airbrush finish. So I feel like as if a moisturizer or a primer, you can use a moisturizer or a primer or anything for this step. I like to use a primer because this is made for makeup to create a barrier between the makeup and my face. Once we are here at this step, I'm gonna go ahead and do my brows. I will do my brows off camera, but I do want to suggest a little bit of brow products that I've used in the past that made it a lot more easier for me to do brows. The first product is this CoverGirl Easy Breezy Brow, and this one is in the shade Soft Brown. It has a little spoolie on the end like this with brow product on it that you just basically brush through your brows. And I feel like this would be a very easy product to use, especially for the girl that's more on the go. She's not really someone who takes an hour and a half to an hour on her makeup and gets really frustrated when they use something like a pomade. A pomade, you can either use it dry or you can use it wet, and it would be able to give you crisp lines, but the difference between the two is time consuming. Using the pomade would be a little bit more time consuming only because when someone's using the brow pomade, they want really defined, sharp brows, and you do have to put a little bit of time in there to get your brows to look kind of similar, have them faded out a little bit. But as of using this would take you about 5 minutes, only because you're just brushing this light brown or whatever color that you do decide to get. You're just brushing it through your brows, putting a little bit of concealer at the bottom to keep them defined, and you're good to go. So it literally takes me about 5 minutes to do my brows. As of when I use this, it takes me about 15 minutes to use my brows. A little tip on this brow product here: before you start applying this on your brows, make sure you wipe most of the product off because it is a spoolie and it's like mascara, so it does have a lot of product on it first. So what you want to do is just wipe it off before adding it on your brows. You'll be able to get the perfect amount of product on the spoolie to just wipe it in your brows and you're all good to go. But I did want to suggest this for the girls who don't want to take 10 to 15 minutes on their brow and, you know, only have about 5 minutes to spare. But today what I'm going to be using is my Anastasia brow dip because I want very defined brows. So I'm going to use my Anastasia brow dip in Soft Brown, and I'll be right back. Alright pumpkins, now that my brows are done, if you guys do want a brow routine video, leave a comment down below, like this video, let me know, give me some type of hint that you guys want to see a brow video. I really don't put my brows on the camera just because it saves a little bit more time. My videos are already about 16 minutes long, so if you do want a separate video on how I always do my brows with the pomade, then let me know. If you guys want a separate video on how to do brows with the CoverGirl Easy Breezy Brow, let me know. I'll be happy to either do both of them. If you want to see both of them, I'll do separate videos on both of them, or I'll put it in one video on how to do brows. Either way, you let me know how you want to see brows be done, because I can even do a whole video on how to do brows with pomade, how to do brows with the Easy Breezy Brow, or how to do brows with a pencil or with eyeshadow. I can do a whole video showing you guys on brows, period. So if you do want to see something like that, let me know in the comments down below. But now that I do have my brows on, I want to go ahead and start with the eyeshadow. Now for your eyeshadows to pop or to blend better, you want to have a base on your eyeshadow. And what I mean by base is a primer. Some people use an eye primer on their eyes. What I personally like to use is concealer. I like to use concealer because it blocks out the dark circles on my eyes, and also it gives it more of a lighter base so that the eyeshadows can pop on my eyes. Now I use any type of concealer. My favorite concealers to use is the Maybelline Instant Age Rewind, the MAC Pro Longwear concealers, and the Maybelline Fit Me concealer. Right now I'm also using the Tarte Creaseless Concealer, which is a really good concealer, but I still do prefer MAC Pro Longwear Concealer, Maybelline Fit Me, and Maybelline Instant Age Rewind. There's nothing really special about the Tarte Creaseless. It's still good. It's not a bad concealer. It doesn't crease or anything like that, but it is just a average concealer that you can get with the Pro Longwear, Maybelline Fit Me, or Maybelline Instant Age Rewind. Literally no difference. I went ahead and zoomed you guys in so you guys can see the full action here. I do want to suggest some eyeshadow palettes to you guys. Today I'm going to be using the BhCosmetics Desert Oasis palette, which is a palette that I just received. I actually got this for my kit, but I literally fell in love with this palette immediately, and yeah, I gotta get one for myself. Some palettes that I always use for my everyday looks. The first one is this Dream Street palette by Kathleen Lights in ColourPop. It is a beautiful eyeshadow palette. It comes with small pops of colors, which I really do like. These very neutral shades up here gives you one nice dark shade to give you some dimension right along with this color. They give you a few options for the crease, which are very nice. They also have a few shimmer shades that you can add on your lid, which is also beautiful. This palette has been used a lot. If you do go on my Instagram and see some of my Instagram videos, you will see this palette featured in a lot of my looks. The second palette I want to show you guys is this Wet n Wild Rose in the Air palette, which is probably my most used everyday palette, only because it has such a great variety of colors. It has great transition shades. It also labels them for you, so if you don't know, it does give you little hints here. These shades are amazing, very blendable, has great crease options, has options to deepen up the crease as well, nice lid shades, also a nice bone color. Love, love, love this palette for everyday looks. The last palette I want to show you guys is this It's My Raye palette by BhCosmetics. It has such great tones in it. Also has some face colors here, which I technically don't use these for my face. This would be too dark for my skin. I don't like that. These are too gray for my skin, so I actually use these all as eyeshadows, but I do use this as a highlight. It's a really nice highlight, but mostly I use this for my eyes, which is this here. I do have green eyes, so my everyday looks are going to be more on the pinker purpley side, only because that makes my eyes pop out a little bit more better. I do love this palette. It has amazing variety of neutral shades at the top, right along with this one. Has nice crease shades to add in the crease and deepen up your look. Also comes with the black, which is pretty much mandatory for me because I love to deepen up my outer corner with the black. It has amazing lid shades. Has light to dark lid shades, so you can get a nice little smoky eye with this with some darker shades here. Or if you want to go ahead and brighten up your lid with more of a brighter shimmery tone, it does have bright shimmers here. So this is a very great palette. It has a lot of variety of colors in it to give you a whole bunch of different looks. Today what I am going to be using again is this Desert Oasis palette from BhCosmetics. The inside looks like this. Very gorgeous, very, very gorgeous. So the first shade that I'm going to start off with is this shade called Canyon. I do want to show you guys some brushes as well, because I feel like brushes are a staple in a makeup kit because it helps you with precision and also with blending. So the first brush I'm going to use is this BhCosmetics brush in the number 13, which is a very fluffy blending brush, and I'm going to dip into that shade Canyon that I showed you guys, and I'm going to add this right in my crease, and I'm going to blend it up a little bit higher. And with this brush you're going to be able to get that blended look using this for your transition color, because this brush, it's not so dense, so it's not going to pack on the color. It's literally going to spread it out and give a nice sheer look. The next color I'm going to use is this shade here. It's called Sandstone, and I'm using a Morphe M433 for this. And the reason why I like to use a Morphe M433 for this is because it is a natural hair brush. So it is a different texture than the blending brush that we blended out the transition shade with. And this one is going to give a little bit more pigment and also blend it as well. If I was to use this brush as my transition, I would have been blending a little bit longer to get that more flawless look because of the bristles. And I'm just gonna add this color literally right under the transition shade and blend it in with my transition shade. Now I'm gonna use these blues in this palette only because they look so gorgeous, like literally gorgeous. But you could definitely use any other shades in here. They have great golds, champagnes, and brown shimmer shades that you'd be able to create very natural looks with. But because these colors have been calling me ever since I opened up this palette, I have to use them. Before I use any of these blue shades, I want to add depth into my eye. So I'm taking this shade called Nightscape, which is a beautiful deep brown, and I'm adding this on my outer corner, and I'm gonna take this and pat it all the way in first. And doing this is just gonna lay down the color, and you're not blowing the color out too far or putting it in areas to make your eye look like a raccoon eye. So what we're gonna do now that we've applied this color directly in the crease, it's okay that it's on the lid. We're just gonna run our brush in the crease like this just to soften the edges. And we're not really bringing this color up too high, but we are softening the edges. This is such a pigmented palette. I only dipped my brush into this eyeshadow one time. And then I'm gonna go back in with the Morphe M433 and some of that Sandstone shade, which is the crease color that we did apply in my crease. And I'll blend out some of that shade. And just give yourself a little time just to blend out the color because it's not gonna blend out ASAP. And then I'll go back in with, oh, I'm sorry. This is a Crown brush, by the way. I think this one is the Crown, the C433. When I got the Morphe M433 the first time, I fell in love with it. So every brush that was shaped like that brush, I bought one from other companies. So this one is kind of like the same thing, but a little bit more denser and not as fluffy. So it does pack on product rather than blending it, but it does blend out the product, so it's not so bad, but it doesn't blend out as good as the M433, just saying. And what's best for everyone to do is just follow their natural eye shape. Now you can, if you want, you can take the eyeshadow and bring the eyeshadow out this way and it'll give you more of a cat eye look, but that does require you to spend a little bit more time, especially if your eye shape is not already that shade. Now I'm gonna go in with this blue shade called Hot Spring from this palette, and a shader brush is very important in any kit so you can add down your lid shades. And I'm using the Morphe M167 brush, which is a really big shader brush, and I like this one. And I'm just gonna pack down this color with soft tapping motion and bring it up a little bit and blend it into my crease shade. And if you notice, I didn't clean off my lid with any concealer or anything like that because I am going for more of a natural eye. I'm not going for any sharp cuts in my crease. I'm going for something nice, natural, and glamorous. Alright, and to give my eye a little bit more dimension, I'm gonna go in with this shade called Tortoise, which is this like grayish blue color. Add this on my shader brush and pop it right into the middle, giving it a little bit more dimension. Going in with this brush here with no additional product on it and just blending out the crease. And what I normally do is add on a wing, but for this video's sake, I'll go ahead and do it like this just for some of the girls who are not good with wing liner. I'm gonna take a black eyeshadow, so I'm just using this black eyeshadow from the It's My Raye palette right here, and I'm gonna add this really close to my lash line. This is gonna help me conceal my false lashes a little bit better, and also if you don't wear lashes, it will make your eyelashes look a little bit more fuller. It helps put the look all together. And then I'll go in with this Crown C433, add a tiny bit of black on there and smudge it out from the back by doing some flicking up motions, not doing too much. And you see how it already makes my lashes look a lot more fuller for some reason. That's what we want. Now I'm just gonna go ahead and take a makeup wipe and just cake off the fallout. And I'm not gonna do a really sharp line over here, so I'm not gonna clean up on that edge. I'm literally just cleaning up under my eye where the fallout was. Then I'm just gonna take some mascara. I'm using the Maybelline Lash Sensational Mascara. If you do have a little bit more time to do a little bit more concealing of the lashes, I'm taking some of my black eyeliner and I'm adding this on my waterline. And this is going to help conceal the lashes even further. You don't necessarily have to do this step, but it does make a little difference. Personally, me, I like extreme lashes, so I'm going to be wearing a pair of thick lashes today. I'm going to size it out first. I need to cut it. I do have really small lids. I don't want these lashes to make my eyes look funny, so I do cut a lot of the lash off. Add some of my duo glue on. The best way to apply lashes is to let the duo glue get tacky before adding it onto your eyes. And this is just gonna help you have control over the lashes and them not moving around while you're trying to stick it on. So I'm gonna go ahead and add the duo glue. Let it dry for about 30 seconds and then go ahead and plop it on. Alright, once the lashes are on, I'm gonna just go ahead and brush through them just to make sure they're all nice and fluffy and pretty. And just a tad bit more mascara just so that the lashes blend in a lot more better. And I'm mainly pushing it on the roots of my own lashes, not necessarily the falsies. Before finishing up the rest of my eyes, I want to go ahead and do my face now. My everyday foundation that I use is my Maybelline Fit Me Matte and Poreless. And I like to take it on my Sonia Kashuk sponge and blend it out. And I like to apply with a sponge rather than a foundation brush because my skin is very smooth, and if I use a brush, I'll get streaks in my foundation. I really love using a sponge because of the moisture that it has inside the sponge, and it helps blend out the foundation a lot more flawlessly. The brush could leave streaks and it'd be hard to blend out those streaks. If your skin is too dry, the foundation can go on a lot more cakey. As of with a blender, it kind of controls the cakiness. So my preferred method of applying foundation would be with a beauty sponge. If your skin is a lot more dry, you want to use a oily foundation. Oily foundation will give it more of like a moisturizing feel and it will go on a lot more smoother. Now, if you have oily skin, you could put on a oily foundation and still get a flawless finish, but just do remember that it might not last as long because it'll slide right off. You want to go in with a matte foundation, but I do recommend putting on a moisturizing primer before adding your matte foundation, just so that you can get a more smoother application when applying it. I have had a lot of people ask me that they do use the matte and poreless and they do have oily skin, and when they're done the finish is too cakey. Like I said, add a moisturizing primer before you add on any mattifying foundations, and what you want to do is add a little bit of foundation at a time. So add a little bit on the back of your hand, put some on your blender or put some on your brush, whatever one that you prefer on using. Just apply it around the face first, blend it out smoothly around the face, and then if you feel as if you need a little bit more coverage, go ahead and add some more foundation. So in reality, it literally took me 7 minutes to blend out my foundation. So take your time on blending out your foundation if you want that really airbrush blended look. My second thing that I like doing on my face is adding concealer. I use my Maybelline Fit Me concealer and Staple Sand for this, and I like to use the Fit Me concealer other than the Instant Age Rewind because it has this little dopa applicator here, and it makes it a lot more easier for me to add the concealer on my face. Then I'm just going to take this other side of the sponge and blend it out, bringing it up like this. And I like to drag a little bit over my lip area just to highlight the center of my face. Also do the same for my forehead. I like to highlight the middle of my forehead as well. And I like to use my Laura Mercier translucent setting powder. I feel like so far this is the best setting powder that I've used. I've only used 3 setting powders so far. I used the RMCA, the Airspun, and this setting powder. I just like this one for its color. Well, it's translucent color. It definitely fits my skin tone really good, and it melts right into my skin. And then for my face powder, I like to use the Maybelline Fit Me face powder in 240. Very flawless finish powder. So we're just gonna apply this. I like to press my powder into my skin so that the foundation doesn't move around and it just sticks right there. And I'll go over it a few times just so that I can get a nice flawless finish. Now to start shading my face, I'm using my Juvias Places Saharan Blush Palette Volume number 2 and using the shade Yara. And this is like my perfect bronzing shade. I'll apply it with a really big bronzer brush. And then with a small contouring brush, I'm just gonna add some down my nose very lightly. I don't like too much nose contour, but I don't like my nose to like not be shaded, because you can kind of lose your nose in all the highlight. So I just want to add some dimension back into my nose. And then with a love of mine, I'm using my Milani Luminoso blush. I love blushes that have a nice sheen to it. Not too much of a shimmer, but a nice sheen. I love using a blush, period, just because it brings some color back into the face. And then also using another love of mine, I'm using the Rimmel Face Trio in Golden Bronze. It's a sculpting trio actually, and I love, love, love this highlighting shade that is inside. A favorite of mine. And I'm adding a little bit of this today. A little bit of this, it might be a lot for you, but I normally pound this shit on. So I'm just doing a light highlight today, and then also on the tip of my nose, in the middle of the bridge of my nose right here. And then we'll go ahead and finish the bottom of my eyes. I'm gonna go ahead and use the Morphe M433. I'm gonna stay in the brush range that we used so I can show you guys that you don't necessarily have to have a billion brushes to get a nice eye. I'm gonna go back in with the shade Sandstone and use this Morphe M433. And I'm gonna apply that on my lower lash line. And I like to bring mine all the way from the outer corner to the inner corner. And it's already bringing the eye together. You can already tell the difference between the two. And once we are here, I'm gonna add a black liner. And then I'm gonna go back in with this brush that we used, Nightscape, which is this shade. And I'm gonna dip it in there a little bit. And this shade, what you wanna do is to get close to your lash line and kind of like smudge out the black. And this is gonna give it that smoky feel. And then going right over that with the brush that we added Sandstone on and blending out the under eye. I'm gonna just use a smaller brush because I want to get it in this little inner corner right here. I'm gonna use my highlighter and add this right in the center and bring it on down just a little bit more. So again, on the center, blending it out and bringing it down my lash line right here. Doing the same for the top of my brow. Just lightly doing that for the top of my brow just to make my brow bone pop. And for my lips, I've been really using the same lip combo for about maybe 2-3 weeks, to be honest, and I love it so much. I'm just taking Sweet Tea Lip Liner by Morphe Brushes and lining my lips. And then I'll drag it on the outer corners. And then I'll take my Maybelline Blushing Beige lipstick and add this right in the center. I love these lipsticks because they're so creamy and so pretty. Such a pretty nude. Oh, I almost forgot to add mascara on my lower lash line. So let me go ahead and add some mascara before adding some setting spray. I'm just going to add some mascara on my lower lash line. And then I'm just going to take some Milani Make It Last setting spray and spray my face. Setting spray is very important to me because it settles down all the powders that I added on my face. So just in case I do feel like I did get a little cakey or whatever, I'll go in with a little bit of setting spray and it will settle down the powders. Alright guys, I pulled my hair back because I am going to work and I don't like my hair in my face. I am a waitress, so like all this hair will get on my nerves, but I am ready to go, guys. Thank you all so much for watching. I really do hope you guys found this video helpful for you on how to get your natural everyday looks. I did add some blue in there, so if you were someone who loves to do everyday looks and try to find some way to add a pop of color, this is a great way to add a pop of color. It's just, you know, a nice beautiful shimmery color right on the lid. I hope I answered some of your guys' questions, because I do get some questions on Instagram about how to apply foundation, how do I get the flawless base and everything. So I hope this video helped you. If it did, let me know. I would love to know if this video helped you. That would be so awesome. If you do like videos like these, let me know if you like videos like these. I will go ahead and give you guys some more in-depth natural looks like this, but normally I always do post looks like these on my Instagram, 1-minute Instagram videos on my Instagram showing you everyday looks. I always post everyday looks on there. If you are not subscribed to my channel, go ahead and click the subscribe button. I upload videos here on my YouTube channel every Monday. If you are already subscribed to me, go ahead and click the notification button. I don't always have like a set time that I post my videos here on YouTube, just a set day. So if you hit the notification button, it will let you know what time on Monday that I do post my videos, so you will be the first to know. While we're all at it, go ahead and follow me on all my social media. Right now I only use Facebook and Instagram. Those are the two that I use more often, and they're all at Santina Marie. Until next time guys, bye.